things were not made clear until later in the week. One of them was that there are seconds on food. So my wife had a big thrill with that once she found that out. So the portions, I guess, were really small, and some people didn't know you could actually get seconds. So it was kind of funny at the time. So anyway, we want to hear some testimonies, and you don't have to give one. You can just pass the mic down if you don't want to talk. But we'd like to hear what the Lord did in your life at Lake Swan Camp.
I had fun at the lake.
I had fun at the Laro slide.
I'm Lainey, and I just wanted to thank my Aunt Christina and my cousin Kaylee for being there for me, and my parents for letting me go. And it was my first time going without my sister nor my mom, and I enjoyed it. And it was my 5th time, and I just wanted to thank God for letting it work out for me. And every year I've been there, I learned more and more about God, and it helped me through.
So Lake Swan Camp was a little bit different this year because we did have the combined year, and there weren't as many high schoolers because of life, but it was cool because the high schoolers that were there, we all knew each other, so we were all able to strengthen our relationships and be able to get closer and just see each other's growth through God and all that we had done throughout the year. And it was just really good fellowship and having lots of fun.
Hi, my name is Taylor. 6 years ago, I went to Lake Swan Camp, and I got put in a cabin with these crazy people. And little did I know that 6 years later, I would still be coming to camp with them during the summer. And I'm so thankful that God put them in my life because they make being a Christian so much more fun. And Lake Swan Camp was just a great time to really see God working in me.
Like Sarah said, the scheduling was a little bit different with the combined camps, but even though things were different at camp, God is the same, and so he was still really good, and the speaker we had was very good, and there was one sermon illustration that stuck out to me. It was the last day, and it was about a kid named William Whiting Borden. He was this very wealthy, in this wealthy family of a dairy farmer, and he goes to Yale and he graduates. And when he graduates, he feels called to be a missionary and to go to Egypt. But so a problem arises with his dad, where his dad says, if you go to Egypt to be a missionary, I'm going to write you out of the inheritance and basically disown you. But if you don't go, I'll give you my entire business right now at 21. So he would have been the most successful 21-year-old in America, set up to be one of the richest people in the world. And so he writes in his journal before he goes, no reserve and no retreat. And he goes to Egypt and makes that choice to follow God's will, which was just incredible. But then it doesn't stop there, so he writes in his journal, no reserve, no retreat. No reserve meaning he's going all in, and no retreat meaning he is not coming back. Coming back is not an option, which is already incredible. But so 1 week with him being there, he's there 1 week, he gets overcome with illness and dies a week after being there. So right when he said that, I was like, well, that's a great sermon illustration. Okay, lovely. But he goes on to say in his journal, they have pictures of his journal. It says, a day before he passes away, no regrets. And to me, I actually struggled with that a little bit because I was like, God called him and he took a step of faith, and it seems like he let him down. But to William, he said no regrets. So I was kind of wondering about that, and God just spoke to me in that he said no regrets because it wasn't about what he accomplished in his life or how many people he saved or what great things he did, but he had no regrets because he followed and answered God's calling on his life. And he knows when he's standing before the Lord that next day that he's going to say, well done, good and faithful servant. And how could you have regrets about that, especially that he answered that calling. So just the Lord spoke to me about not worrying about the outcome of my life and the calling that He places on my life. So just very reassuring and encouraging that God's got it and He's going to fulfill His purpose in me. So thank you guys for all your prayers and support. Thank you.
So during this week, I learned that God is your friend once you believe that He died. And I don't know why, that was just something that, just came, watched up over me, and then I realized that He is with me, no matter what.
I learned that you can't always trust for God, and that God is always with you, even through hard times.
I want to thank everyone for donating for me and my brother to be able to come to camp. And I also want to thank them for letting me have this experience to come. And I learned that God is always with you no matter what. And I also thank my friends for helping me be able to help the other kids go down the slide safely and making sure they come to shore safely.
This is my first year at camp, and that's because I don't really do camp. But I just felt like the Lord was calling me to go, and it was just such a blessing because before we even left, I was moved in my heart at the compassion and generosity and caring of people that were sending them off. And then we get there, and I got the room in the cabin with Lindy and our high school girls. And there were, a couple girls in there we didn't know, and our girls just took them in under their wing and made them part of the group. And I was continually being moved by the kind gentleness and just the spiritual welcoming of our girls and our kids. And it's not that I didn't expect that, I just don't experience that much. And so I was so blessed to be in the cabin with them and to hear throughout the week their openness to the spiritual truth. The topic was Shine Your Light, and Dan Bowl, who is the youth leader of the entire Christian Missionary Alliance based out of Colorado, was the speaker. So it was an amazing outpouring and just a constant flooding of God's Word and the truths of God's Word, and to be able to see the girls kind of just work through that and talk about it and be open to what it meant in their lives. We had Cabin Connect each night, and I think Lindy would agree, we were more blessed by the girls. Lindy and I were just doing Camp 101, and they were getting these deep spiritual truths that we were able to be a part of. So every time I saw the kids, we were total opposite schedule of the younger kids. They were laughing and smiling and running around like they owned the place. So it was encouraging to see that too, but I was blessed by them, and the Lord was good. And thank you all for your prayers and support. That's usually my end. I'm praying and supporting. But if you ever get a chance to go, I would encourage you to do that, because you'll be the one that gets blessed.
Amen.